Signs that somebody's high on cocaine, the harsh reality is you're probably never going to know that they were high on cocaine until after the fact. When it comes to cocaine, I am a recovering cocaine and alcoholic addict. And I share from just my lived experiences. This is in no way to promote any kind of substances, but to maybe help educate and also find some closure for others who have loved somebody who was a cocaine addict. When it comes to cocaine addiction, in my opinion, it is one of the easiest addictions to essentially hide. And there's a lot of reasons behind that. There are signs that somebody is, using cocaine or they're high on cocaine. They have, dilated pupils, are just big mood energy. They are constantly disappearing, constantly using. They're moody, they're up and down. I mean, cocaine produces such a massive amount of dopamine that once that leaves your system, you become just very depressed and anxious and needy to the point that you need to go get some more of this into your system. Being an outsider watching this, you see somebody going through a lot of this, and maybe they tell you, hey, I have a sinus infection. That's why my nose is messed up, or something's blooming and my sinuses are jacked up. And you believe them. You have no reason not to believe them, so you're going to believe them. They're messing with their jaw a little bit and they're just telling you how, they got locked jaw or whatever it might be, licking their lips, dry mouth, and you believe them. That's the amazing thing is when somebody hasn't necessarily broken your trust as an addict, you believe everything that they say and you have a right to. You've never had a reason not to trust them. But this is also why it's so hard to really pick up on those subtle changes in somebody that they're actually using cocaine or that they're addicted to cocaine, because it's not like crystal meth. To me, crystal meth is a lot easier to tell that somebody's on meth, whether you did meth or not, just because it lasts so long. But with cocaine, it's only going to last about 15 minutes to 20 minutes, and then the dopamine reuptake stops, so you hit the cocaine drop. And now is that depression. So you're not seeing this massive mood constantly, and it gives addicts and people using a chance to readjust. And what I mean by readjust is if you bring up that, hey, what's going on? Why are you acting this way today? Or what's going on with you today? You're always going to ask them that. I had people who used to ask me that, like, hey, what's going on with you today? Or why are you being weird today? I was conscious enough and logical enough that I knew they were picking up on something was off, which is my using of cocaine. So what am I going to do as an addict? I'm going to leave the house now to go do it, or I'm going to go away to do it, be gone for 30 minutes to just get that high going and then come back, or maybe start even drinking or getting them to drink with me so they don't notice it as much. That's one of the scary parts about it. To really find out if somebody is doing cocaine, you have to almost hunt down where they're doing it. And it's probably, like for me, it was be in a guest bathroom that not many people use, underneath the sink where I know not many people are going to check, and there'd be a plate, a card, and there'd be a rolled up bill. You're not going to find the cocaine because it's probably going to be on me, because I can't leave it there, because what happens if somebody else finds it and flushes it or uses it? That's the paranoia side of addiction. But other than that, I'm going to have times and the abilities to readjust around somebody questioning me if I'm using. And that's one of the hardest things I think about the drug is you look back and you find out somebody was a coke addict, and where were they getting the money? Or maybe that's why they were asking always for so much money, or they were always broke because they were buying cocaine. But how did I not know? Like, how was somebody able to do this under my roof or in my house without me truly realizing? And it ultimately comes into that your brain is looking for some sort of control. Addicts, we create a ton of trauma for others. And so hindsight's always going to be 2020. And again, I've shared now all of a sudden what it's like to see somebody high on coke and what to look for. And I'm sure somebody was listening to those going, yeah, so-and-so did that, or so-and-so did this. That it all makes sense now because hindsight is 2020. But at that given moment, it's not, because you're immersed into it and you want to believe the other person. They're just having an off day. And that's the scary part of cocaine is the more that somebody will pick up on these, the more that we can adjust to it. The more that we can keep using and almost make it normal now. The scariest part with like my cocaine addiction was that people thought I was messed up when I wasn't using. Like me using was then all of a sudden became kind of the normal me. But me sober was different. Me sober, in a sense, is there's something wrong with him. What are you on right now? Why are you calmer? The other scary part too is a lot of people who are using cocaine, a lot of times they're ADHD. And they probably have stopped their ADHD meds. That is another big sign you can tell if somebody is using cocaine, is they're kind of having these emotional roller coasters and all of this, but they're not taking their meds anymore when it comes to like Adderall or Vyvanse or Ritalin. And they're relying on that cocaine dopamine to give them focus, because not everybody who uses cocaine is extremely amped up. They don't get super energized. For some people, it really actually calms them and slows them down, like myself. Cocaine, the whole stigma around it, and there's such a strong stigma, is this big mood energy just bouncing off the wall, just in your face, ready to go at it, just telling you business ideas and everything. Where in reality, for somebody with ADHD, we can kind of isolate ourselves a little bit. We focus in on different things. We can almost be productive. It makes us feel normal. That's the scariest part. Which now, because of that, we're able to mask ourselves even more to blend in. And this is why it is so difficult to tell if somebody is on cocaine. And it is that fast mood switches. It's that fast acting mood. And the problem is like opiates, for example. You can tell when somebody's abusing opiates because they're constantly just kind of at a certain point just going to be like, hey man, it's fine. Same move when it comes to benzos. And it's prolonged, and it's not fast acting like cocaine is. Crack cocaine, I mean, it's a different story. That you're not going to probably be having somebody under your roof with very long if they're using crack cocaine, because that steals your soul so much and it becomes such a heavy dependency on. Where for a while with cocaine, a lot of people can hide this addiction. It is probably, I would say, one of the most hidden addictions there are. And the reason that it is hidden so well is, one, you're able to adjust so well to it. And also that even though it can be consuming and all stealing of your life, you're so conscious still of everything that you'll make conscious efforts to cover your tracks. You'll make conscious efforts to move money around, to find money, to get it, to finding ways to buy it, versus those impulses that you're going to have from a drug like crack cocaine, for example, where you're going to get to the point that you're stealing cars or whatever it takes to try and find some money. Crystal meth is so different because it's such a long-lasting drug. Where with cocaine, it's because it's short acting, you almost as the user then believe that it's not that bad. It's going to wear off here in just a little bit. And it made me feel good. And your brain is so rewired that this is what's going to make you happy. That there is that dependency on it. I mean, cocaine, you become very dependent on. And that's why you're going to be using it in the house. The person that you love, that is an addict that's lying to you, is going to use it in the house. The problem is when they need more chaos. Because any cocaine addict will tell you too is there is an element of chaos that has to be created to help fuel this addiction even more. And we will create chaos, whether it's through gambling, staying up late while you're asleep and watching porn, hooking up with hookers or others and cheating on you, sex. There's a lot of different things that an addict's going to reach out to have even more chaos, because it almost feeds that dopamine high more. It gives us this more. We're always looking for more. And that's the scary part of addiction. So it is very hard to control. Does become a certain point where you realize that something is not right with this person. Unfortunately, it's always usually hindsight. And the best thing I can say is don't beat yourself up over it. Don't ever beat yourself up. Like I should have picked up on these signs and I should have known and I could have helped them more. No, that's your brain trying to deal with the trauma and grief that was caused and regain control somehow. And it will always make you feel guilty that you should have did more, you could have did more, because it's your brain's way of trying to find how to gain control over a situation, how to take maybe the blame of it so that you maybe feel like you're more in control, which isn't the reality of it. And that's the scariest part too of what we as an addict do to others. And we're very selfish and we will burn our life down, and we're gonna burn your life down too. And that's why you have to realize that ultimately in the end, when it comes to getting sober, we as an addict have to want to get sober. It has to be us. And we're not getting sober for you, we're not getting sober for kids, we're not getting sober for family or work. We're getting sober because we actually want to get sober. And it's a scary place to be. It's a scary journey to go down, but it is doable, and it's ultimately coming and finding what works for you. I mean, for a lot of people, rehab is the way to go. I mean, I wish I would have went to rehab. It would have saved me so many years because therapy is there, coping tools is there, having a plan once I got sober to stay sober is there. That would have been amazing. But I didn't go to rehab. If I could have changed anything going back in time, getting sober and knowing what I know now, I would have went to rehab. Going to AA or NA, download Sunflower Sober. I got it tagged down below. Sunflower Sober is an app. Get 24-hour support, community, AI sponsor. Just get people to talk to. Don't isolate yourself. Going to AA meetings, NA meetings, Al-Anon meetings. Go to all the different, there's tons of different meetings out there. Go to them all. Find what ones you like. Go to a doctor or psychiatrist and therapist. Find right meds. Man, do all of it. Just find what works for you because there is no right or wrong way. And the problem is a lot of times we don't want to get sober until we find the right way and the way that is the golden lace painful way. No, man, you got to just find what works for you. And a lot of it is trial and error, unfortunately. And that's why I share, is to remind you that you're not alone, to remind you that it does get better, and to remind you that you're worth it.